Dressing modestly is an integral part of Muslim life, especially for women. But they say that doesn't mean they can't be stylish at the same time. A new generation of Muslim women is increasingly choosing to follow global fashion trends while also observing their faith. That's especially true in Australia, where a unique style of Muslim fashion is flourishing. This is the new generation of Muslim women in Australia, stylish, edgy and distinctive.
I think that being a Muslim woman and being fashionable and observing your faith is not necessarily contradictory.
The only, I suppose, adjective that I wouldn't use to describe the way a Muslim woman dresses when she's outside the house is sexy. Everything else, stylish, attractive, beautiful, pretty, feminine, all of those sort of things, different, progressive, whatever. There's no problem with any of that.
Muslim women's style and identity are explored in a new exhibition called Faith Fashion Fusion at Melbourne's Immigration Museum.
If people can come out of this exhibition and learn something that they didn't know, have a stereotype challenged, turned on its head, all the more. That's what it's all about, yeah.
Australian Muslims come from more than 70 different ethnicities, each with their own language and dress code. But that's all changing.
Over a third of the Muslim community here are born here, and over half the population are under 25. It's youthful, it has a very strong Australian identity, and I think that does inform the fashion, because what you're seeing is a lot of existing or contemporary fashion trends which are being appropriated to comply with this, I guess you might say, Islamic standards of modesty.
And what's happening with Muslim women and their clothing choices in Australia, I think it's a microcosm of what's actually happening with the Muslim community in Australia, in that it is consolidating and becoming an Australian Muslim community as opposed to a community that was, say, Indonesian Muslim or Turkish Muslim or Lebanese Muslim.
The Australian Muslim woman's look is very, it has a clear Australian Western flavour.
Sociologist Susan Carlin says while modesty remains the cornerstone, there's been a noticeable change in Muslim fashion in Australia over the last decade.
It's amazing. I look back, and 10 years ago there were very few options. What we did have was kind of ugly and also just very much suited to a different place. So what would be stylish and appropriate in one country, it just didn't transfer well to here for whatever reasons.
A lot of Muslim women would go, this is my interpretation of modesty, and we know that the basic guidelines are we believe that we need to cover our hair, we're able to show our faces, we're able to show our hands, and we're just going to interpret that in a context that's suitable to our lives as Muslims in Australia at this point in time.
Designer Getha Imelda's philosophy is to make women feel beautiful and present the hijab as anything but a symbol of oppression. She says she finds inspiration in Australia's diversity as well as in vintage stores and markets.
I love the mix of everything. People going to op shop or recycle stuff. It just really inspired me. And from my background, especially from Indonesia, it's everything. It's full of colours. I love colours, and I don't think I can live without colours.
One of the things that I really like doing is going to a particular store and actually hijabifying the outfit. So what I'll do is, I've got no shame, I've done this to people on the street, I've gone up to someone on the tram and said, I really like your dress, where did you get it? And then she'll tell me, and then I'll go and get the dress and then mix it up. So I'll wear it with jeans or leggings, or I'll add something to it to make it work in terms of covering the parts of my body that I think need to be covered.
Shanaz Jacobs-Copeland designs hijab-friendly evening wear. She says Muslim women and girls don't need to expose everything to be beautiful.
Young girls now, they're so impressionable by going through Vogue magazines, they formals are coming up, special occasions for weddings, and they want to, look the part and feel gorgeous and glamorous. So I think with all these Muslim designers, they've come up with amazing designs, and we're stepping into a new dimension.
And in that new dimension, social media is becoming increasingly influential.
there'll be a certain look that I might really like, and what really has literally changed my dress inspiration on its head is social media. Literally this morning I got up and put on this scarf and I looked at my Instagram, saw somebody in, I think, where she was in Poland, I think, whatever, and she had a particular style of hijab, and I just copied that and put it on.
As well, women are flocking to uniquely Muslim Australian labels online.
The Muslim world has just fallen in love with online commerce as much as the non-Muslim world.
I find I'm starting to order so much online, I'm having to hide the packages from the family. Oh, what's the delivery man doing here again? Must be from next door. So I think I need to rein in the online shopping a bit, to be honest.